Good morning. It is great to see all you beautiful, brilliant, wonderful people again. Today's video is for March 31st and April 1st, okay? And on the agenda today, you guys are supposed to read chapter 5. And also there's a worksheet called that deals with conflict, called Conflict and Character in Night. And so we'll talk about the worksheet. I'll kind of walk you through the directions and what is expected of you. So this is what it looks like. Let me see. Can you see the top of it? That's the one you should be looking at. Okay. Now, it says at the top, conflict is one of the most important aspects of a story. The conflict is usually an obstacle to the main character's goal. It usually brings about some type of change in the main character. How is Elie Wiesel changed by the obstacles he must endure? As you're reading chapter 5, document the conflicts that Elie Wiesel must overcome and how each of these conflicts affected his character. If examples of each type of conflict cannot be found within chapter 5, try to think of examples from previous chapters. Okay? So, you are not restricted to chapter 5, right? We want to try to operate mostly in chapter 5, but if for some reason you can't find one of these conflicts there, or a good example of one of these conflicts, you can look in a previous chapter to get it done. So it gives you like 2 columns, okay? Well, 3 columns. But the far left column has what type of conflict they're referring to. So first type of conflict is character versus nature. We should all remember what that is, right? Character versus nature. Maybe you have a guy who is out in the woods and a bear is trying to attack him. That is character versus nature. You have a guy who's trapped in the mountains, struggling to survive. You know, a guy who's trapped in the desert, struggling to survive. Something like that, character versus nature, right? And then it asks you in the next column, example with pages. So you're going to write what the example of that particular conflict is. You're going to give me a quote, okay? And you're going to give me the page number it came from, okay? No page numbers, I'm going to ding you, okay? And then the last column asks you what were the changes in Elie Wiesel. Okay, so give me the conflict and then tell me how he was changed by it. All of us are changed by conflicts and things that happen in our life. I want to know how Elie was changed by his. Okay, now second type of conflict, character versus self. We've talked about that before. Character versus self is all about a person who is struggling with something internally, right? There's some decision, something that is I don't want to say eating you up on the inside, but there's something that you're struggling with on the inside. It has nothing to do with anything external. It's all internal, okay? And then do the same 2 things for those columns. Third one is character versus society. So character versus society, people get hung up on sometimes. Character versus society has to do with the character versus the status quo sometimes. So the way things are in society, I like to think of someone who is standing up against something. Think of people protesting, the state of the world at the time or something like that. Okay, so that's character versus society. Lastly is character versus character, which is exactly what it sounds like. You have a character that has a beef or smoke with another character, right? So, in there, again, there should be plenty of examples you can find in the book of this as well. So, find it, give me the example, give me the page number, and then talk to me about how Elie Wiesel is altered and changed by said conflict. Okay? Email me if you got any questions. Okay? Good luck, and I will chat with you all later.